Yowza, yowza, yowza. Let's look and see what we can do right now. Alright, tonight we're talking about the Crow remake. I want to get you guys to come on here and talk about what you guys think about the Crow remake coming out this week. Starring Bill Skarsgård, as we have seen in many films before. And he played Pennywise the Dancing Clown in the It remake. But we're going to talk about tonight the debate. Well, tonight we're going to talk about the remake of the Crow debuting in theaters this week. We will talk about the remake and certainly talk about the original film, which we will go into more in depth to, and the legacy of Brandon Lee. It's all going to be in this video tonight. We're going to do a live, and if you want to come on here and talk about what you feel about the original Crow film, how you feel about the remake. Should it have been made in the first place? A lot of people will say yes, and a lot of people will say no. I will give you my thoughts on it right quick. I'll go into a statement and why I think the pros and the cons of the remake should have been made or shouldn't have been made. We'll go into that in depth all tonight. You can also come on here live with me and talk about what you guys think. Why do you like the original Crow? What you think about what happened to Brandon? But we are all gonna talk about maybe giving the film a little bit of a chance. I don't know if people will give it a chance. I do not see it being very successful. It certainly won't be a #1 movie at the box office. That's because it has too much competition to go up against. It's not going to beat Deadpool, and it's not going to beat a few other movies that are critically better than this film, or better, or doesn't have as much stigma as this film coming up here, as we so genuinely see. But we talk about why a lot of people couldn't figure out why this film was even made in the first place. If it was a carbon cookie cutter of the original film, I think I'd have a lot more issue with it. In terms of actually, condemning the film, the remake, I don't know if, I am a Brandon Lee fan through and through. I am an original Crow fan through and through. For what I've seen of this film, especially in the previews and the scenes that we've seen, it really is not kind of like the original film. The original film had its own little world. This looks like it's in like a modern day era world where, that's where a lot of people are getting it kind of misconstrued. That is basically the same. To me, it's only just the same characters. The storyline and the visuals of it will and can be different. But we're also going to talk about how the legacy of Brandon's death was kind of a stigma on the original film, because we have to actually stop and look. I mean, even we're getting stuff like this where, apparently they've learned quite a bit from what happened to Brandon. They're not allowing real pew-pews on the set after the Brandon Lee tragedy. Well, that should have been common knowledge. That should have been common sense to begin with. But Hollywood has not seemed to have learned their lessons, even especially after the Rust situation that happened a few years ago. I mean, we're 30 years away from the tragic death of Brandon Lee in 1993. Not a lot of people realize that the film didn't come out till 1994. It took almost a year to get everything done. Like the original director, which I will show you a picture here, did not really like the idea of the remake. But the thing is, it's tragic what happened to Brandon, which should never have happened, And there's a lot of people who, and the original director has come out and said of the 1994 film, that it is not the remake was not necessary. But I find if it is a remake of the OG Sarah Same, oh, there you go, London. All right, so what I don't understand is, okay, there is a few problems with this situation here. If it would have been just carbon copy, if it would have been just like if they would have gave Skarsgård the same look as Brandon, put him in the same costume as Brandon, but as we see, this Skarsgård's Eric Draven does not look anything like the Eric Draven that we grown to love as Brandon's character. He has tattoos all over himself. He's basically, you don't really know that much about this Eric. He doesn't look like he's a musician in this one. And I think if that's what they did, and that's what they did, made it so different from the original, because you got to remember, a lot of people seem to think that this is actually the first time Eric Draven has been portrayed since Brandon Lee's passing in '93 and in the film in '94. That is actually not true. Brandon's character, or Brandon Lee's technical character, was revised or reprised in a TV series in the late '90s called The Crow Stairway to Heaven. Now that, if that would have been this version of The Crow starring Bill Skarsgård, a lot more people, and especially myself, would be like kind of on the fence about it, because it would be kind of like, you know, they're taking one and trying to superimpose on the other. And sadly, you know, the thing with Brandon that passed away, the director that seems to have a lot of problems with the remake, where it says right there in the interview, Brandon Lee died making it, and it was a finish as a testament to his lost brilliance and tragic loss. Well, that is true. That is so true. So I can't deny that. But the thing is, I did a poll a couple weeks ago where I asked if Brandon Lee deserved a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That poll actually was very much in the yes column. It was very overwhelmingly said yes by all y'all that voted on here. I thank y'all for voting on that one. It's because Brandon made Eric so iconic. And needless to say, would The Crow be even profitable as an intellectual property had the stigma of Brandon's death not been all over the original film in '94? Had Brandon, like the scenario if Brandon would have lived, I think The Crow would have been a hit. I think it would have made money, but I don't think it would have gotten the cult following that is done right now. Now, if you have seen the original Crow, which I've seen over 100 and hundreds and hundreds of times since 1994, and I've tried many times to try to. London says, "Oh, Barr is he is very talented." But Barr has said in the past interviews that he has no control over the live action versions of The Crow. He does have the rights to The Crow in comic form, but he does not have the rights to The Crow in the movie form. So that, to me right here, the director of the original Crow, Alex Proyas, is coming out against, and a lot of the original people who, I mean, I'm on the fence about it too. I wanna. To me, is if it's that bad, and if this film basically implodes and it doesn't do anything at the box office, and it doesn't make any money at the box office, does that not necessarily mean that the original Crow, the 1994 film, would be more iconic? It would almost work in the favor of Brandon's Crow film, that it would make it that much more iconic, because you would see where we came from and what we got with the 2024 remake of The Crow. it is not lining up. But the thing is, for what I've seen in the trailer and many other things, it's very gruesome. It's very, there's a lot of gore in it. And from what I understand, the comic was very much very much gory. And I think that that's where we kind of have an issue. Now, you see, the original Crow film in '94, which made it 30 years, basically made it 30 years since the release of the original Crow. It made it almost kind of like in bad taste a little bit, in my opinion. Why didn't you release it like maybe next year or the previous year? Why did you wait almost 30 years to the anniversary of the original Crow? That right there, and this film has been in, limbo. There's been many people who've tried to make The Crow in the past, and it was just not working. They even tried to make Jason Momoa Eric Draven at one point, which would have never worked because Jason Momoa just didn't fit the role of Eric. The thing is, with the original film, it came out of basically, it has such the stigma of Brandon's passing tied to that film that they tried to do sequels after, like City of Angels and Salvation and many other ones, and it would never capture the original film's kind of momentum. And everybody alludes to that, and the sequels being so horrible, and they're not very good. They're hard to watch. It's because you're missing Brandon. You're missing what Brandon brought to the role of Eric Draven. Now, I'm not discarding what Bill Skarsgård can do. Bill Skarsgård he's basically almost, I'm kind of starting to see a trend here with Bill Skarsgård. He's going to become the remake king for some reason, because he did Pennywise the Dancing Clown, which was a remake of the TV series, which was a Stephen King book. He remade Pennywise, and he actually played Pennywise twice. The second one wasn't bad. That actor had the vibe. It just wasn't the same. And that's where the second one, it just did not have the momentum that the first Crow had. It's because Brandon brought something to the character of Eric Draven that I don't think even Bill Skarsgård can do. I think it's because Brandon was such a fan of the comic book, because I've seen many interviews in the past where Brandon has quoted lines from the comic book, and he tried for many years to get the role of Eric Draven. He actually, people seem to think that it was a role that was just thrust upon him, and that's not the case. Brandon actually tried many times, did a lot of things to try to get to the role of Eric Draven. He wanted to be Eric Draven. Now, did he want what happened to him on the set of The Crow? No, of course not. Did the lady who passed away on the set of Rust deserve what she died, or deserve what happened to her? Of course not. See, Hollywood has never learned their lessons from their mistakes in the past. That is because the original film, not a lot of people realize this, that Brandon was actually supposed to come back as Eric Draven for 2 more films. He was actually signed on to do 2 sequels of The Crow. Before he passed away, he actually signed on to do 2 sequels of The Crow. That is well documented and has been proven. So sequels were in Brandon's future for the Eric Draven character. Now, I understand that Bill Skarsgård is not happy with the end of the film because he did not think that they wanted more sequels. They wanted a sequel out of this film here. I think he thought it was just a one time and one and done type of situation, and that's apparently, if this film is successful, and it's not, like I said, it's not going to get #1 because Deadpool and, Alien and a lot of other films are going to be taking a lot of the box office. I would be surprised if you had to ask me what the box office is going to do for The Crow this weekend, because it comes out on Friday, this Friday. I think you can kind of see, I'm going to say in between 15 million and 20 million this weekend. And that's not a lot. That is really not a lot. Is it a disaster? No, because I find, like myself, I'm not going to go to the theater and watch it. I haven't made my indecision on that. But I will say that if the star of the film doesn't like the ending, then there's an issue here, you know, because, you know, it's coming soon to a lot of theaters, and a lot of theaters are, you know, kind of not showing a lot of films lately. They don't keep a lot of films. I actually see this film actually debuting on streaming in less than a month. Look what happened to, you know, the movie with Jamie Lee Curtis, Borderland. I mean, it's coming on streaming in a couple of weeks. I mean, and it just debuted in the theaters, you know. So I actually think that this will not, it won't be a bomb. I don't think it'll be a bomb at the box office. I just think it's not going to be profitable enough for them to keep it in the theater. And if you want to come on here with me and talk about how much, if you like the original film, do you think that the remake should have not happened? Or maybe it was 30 years later, maybe it was time to redo The Crow. You can come on here, video chat with me. Just keep it clean. If you act a fool, I'll throw you off. But, you know, to me, I think that the testament of The Crow and the longevity of The Crow is because of the performance that Brandon gave. And they can't say that Brandon didn't give it. Brandon gave a lot more than his all to the film, to the role of Eric Draven. I mean, to me right there, I mean, if they would have, clearly you see right there, they are not the same looking character. The Skarsgård Eric looks more like, a little bit more like the comic. And I kind of understand that part. None that says I'm antisocial. I managed to talk with looks. Bill's very talented in how he can pantomime. Oh yeah, but not. Well, I don't understand. I don't blame you. I mean, the way a lot of people that come on here and talk with me on the video chats or whatever, they don't have to be in front of the camera. London, you can point the camera at the wall, you can point the camera at the ceiling, or you can turn the camera off and still talk and be an audio version, you know. Wait, no. Yeah, okay. All right, so I think the thing of it is, and in the remake trailers, I've never seen anything about that. You know, I never seen, you know, they don't do the Sarah character. I don't even know if Sarah is even in this remake film. I know that, you know, they focus a lot on Eric and Shelley. Thank you for the follow. But if you want to come on here and talk with me, you don't have to get in front of the camera. Just point the camera against the wall, and you can use your voice to talk about Brandon. You can talk about The Crow, the original Crow. You can talk about, if you think you're going to watch the 2024 version. I've made my decision. I will probably watch it on streaming because I am a fan of the original comic book. I did find the comic book after Brandon's passing and after the original film because it made me go back and want to look at more stuff. And James O'Barr was very, very integral in, you know, understanding that, you know, he wrote The Crow out of tragedy in his own life. So tragedy seems to have followed The Crow wherever it goes. So Stephen Daniels, author, there has been many Crows, but there is only one Eric Draven. Stephen Daniels, I couldn't agree with you more. But the thing is, what I'm seeing from here is, it is an Eric Draven, but it's not a Brandon Lee Eric Draven. What I mean by that is, they've tried to do the Brandon Lee character again in a TV series called, like I alluded to earlier, Stairway to Heaven. And that, to me, was more of a just cash grab than maybe the remake is. Now, there's a lot of things in the original film, in the 1994 film, that doesn't link up to the comic book I mean, there's a lot of issues with that. Moondoggy 1967, Brandon Lee with my face. I can't argue with that, man. When you think about it, I mean, Brandon sadly, gave his life, which should have never happened. The incident on the Crow should have never happened. It was sloppiness at its best. The TV show was decent. I did watch a few episodes of it, but it was only like he would only have the face paint show up with him when he was in, like certain scenes where he would not want to get injured. The Elite Legacy, right? The Elite Legacy. People wonder why Brandon don't. And like I said, I made a video on this. I don't see why Brandon does not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, because just for The Crow, he made The Crow so iconic and so. I mean, there's not a lot of people that don't do Gothic that don't understand. Hello, City. Stephen Daniels, Proyas, and Ernie Hudson have called the new movie disrespectful, so in many words. Well, Stephen Daniels, I understand Ernie Hudson's point of view, and I kind of understand Proyas's point of view, others also, but I take umbrage a little bit of a issue with Proyas's portrayal or his commenting on the remake of The Crow, because all he had to do was have somebody just check the barrel of the pew pew. I mean, come on now. Is it because, you feel a little bit guilty about what happened on the set of The Crow? Maybe you should. Michael Berryman as the original skeleton cowboy was cut from. That is actually correct. Correct. And I've actually seen the footage, and I played it on a video one time. The Skull Cowboy, it's because they didn't like the way it looked. And in this film, in the remake, I think the Skull Cowboy shows up, but he's not in skull form that I've seen. He's more of a human type, like the person who's kicking Skarsgård's Eric into that vat of chemicals. But yeah, Ernie Hudson, I met Ernie Hudson, and it was just because he was so much a friend of Brandon Lee that he thought it was uniquely. And I'm going to get to all your questions in the chat. I'm just going to do them one by one. I mean, Ernie Hudson had lost a friend that on the set of The Crow. I mean, I can understand that. Wholeheartedly. And he has every right to feel that way. A lot of people from the original Crow don't like the idea of a remake. Because if you look at it, they really don't look alike. I mean, I think they took the Eric Draven character and okay, let's look and see. Does his father have a star? Yes, Bruce Lee did. Bruce Lee does have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Moondoggy. He does have a star. To me, wouldn't it be cool if they gave Brandon a star right next to his father? I think he more than deserves it. London Gen X, what about the whole conspiracy thing? Can you elaborate on that, Jen? What conspiracy? Watch the episode Cursed Films on The Crow on AMC. I actually love that. I actually see, and if y'all haven't seen Autopsy Last Hours of, watch the one on The Crow. Watch the one on Brandon Lee, because it goes into depth about what happened. They're actually alive. No, I don't think they're alive. Brandon did pass away, and I think Bruce Lee, and I've done videos on Bruce Lee in the past, and I think that Bruce Lee basically ate something that he was allergic to, and it caused his brain to swell, and it killed him. Brandon's death was just totally avoidable, and it should have never happened. And you could say it was foul play, but it was just really like on the set of Rust. It is people who just did not do their jobs, and when they did not do their jobs, somebody got killed. and it's totally avoidable, and it should have never happened. Had Brandon not passed away, he would have probably been paralyzed, because it went and it basically, the bullet ripped a hole in his aorta and it sat next to his spine. So he would have probably have been paralyzed from the waist down if he had survived the shooting, the pew pew. So I don't think that there is a conspiracy. I just think that, you know, Brandon and Bruce had a run of bad luck. I believe Bruce took something that he didn't, and I'm not talking about the headache pill. I'm talking about, you know, something that he took that was illegal, that he took, and it caused his brains to swell, and it wound up killing him. Brandon's death was totally avoidable. That's why Alex Proyas is, to me, doesn't like the idea of the film, is because, you know, he has an idea that, you know, he knows deep down inside Brandon should have never passed away. London says there's a recent thing about the Crow. They claim blanks were shot at him, but 2. Well, the thing is, what happened to Brandon was, and like on Unsolved Mysteries, and a lot of people that have done, and I will get to all y'all questions. I'm just getting to them one by one. The thing with Brandon is, there was no reason that nobody checked the barrel of that pistol, or that pew pew. There is no excuse for it at all. None. No excuse of it. And that tip stayed in that barrel for almost 20 something days. There's no excuse for it. None. Zilch. Nada. Brandon should have never ever been in front of that pew pew in that condition. Or if they would have, they should have at least had Brandon wearing a bulletproof vest. Yeah, 20 something days. I think it was 21 or 22 days. It stayed lodged in the barrel of the pew pew. Live rounds should never be on a moon set. That's right. And you know, the weird part, Wolf, is that they tried to make dummy rounds out of live bullets. That's how the projectile got stuck in the barrel. So what happened is, the projectile was stuck in the barrel. They decided to put not a live round, because we're going to go into depth about that also. And y'all have to understand, this is a Crow remake. Plus, we can talk all things Crow. We're going to talk about what happened to Brandon too. In the pew pew, let's say the projectile stuck in the barrel. Okay, now they loaded another cartridge which did not have a tip in it. It was just a corkboard end on the end of it, and it had a live primer, and it had gunpowder. So whenever that projectile was supposed to shoot out, it was supposed to just have a blast and it was just for aesthetic, so they could actually get that on screen. And it was supposed to shoot out a spark, but it did not shoot out the spark. When it came out of the barrel, when it came out of the shell, it hit that projectile, and it would have been like they hit Brandon with a point blank bullet. A point blank, like he would have been point blank. A 45 point blank caliber pew pew. And a lot of people, go back and watch if you have Peacock, go look under the show Autopsy Last Hours Of, and watch the Brandon Lee episode. They go into depth about what happened. In the old Unsolved Mysteries, where you can see it on YouTube, it go into depth about exactly what happened. There's a lot of things on there, but I'm going to get back to your questions in a second. But we're going to, everything on the Crow is on the line. You can ask me anything you wish. If you want to come on here, just make sure that you don't act the fool. But I want to get to your questions right quick. There was a recent thing about the Crow. They claim blanks were no, they're okay. I've seen a new one yesterday. Yikes! It won't ever touch the original film. I'm named after Brandon Lee. Well, you must be an awesome person if you are named after Brandon Lee. That is so cool. Like Alec Baldwin with the prop pew shooting. Well, the thing with Alec Baldwin is, and I understand that because not a lot of people know. Here's a bit of trivia that you may not know. The one who actually pulled the pew pew trigger on Brandon, who actually, who should have been responsible for it in a way, was Michael Massey, who played Fun Boy, the blonde-haired guy in the gang. He was the guy who shot the pew pew that killed Brandon. But as an actor, and I understand that, and that's why Alec Baldwin got off with what happened on the set of Rust. The actor should never have been put in that position. Brandon should have never been put in that position. Michael Massey should have never been put in that position. It should have been more well sought after. The new Wolfman says the new one is closer to the comics. I believe that is actually accurate because a lot of people think that in the comic that Eric and Shelley are actually done off in the apartment like it is in the classic 1994 film. And that is actually not true. In the comic, they're actually pulled over on the side of the road, and these gang of people go to, and basically what happened in the apartment happened on the side of the road. And Eric was not a musician in the original comic. So, yeah, that's true. Yeah, 20-something days that projectile stayed in the barrel of the... And y'all can keep y'all questions coming. I'm just got to get to one of y'all. I'm going to get to them one at a time. Live rounds should never be live on... Yep, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Do you think now that Alec Baldwin got rid of his case, they will finish making Rust? Well, that's an interesting question, Constant Insanity. I actually believe, yes, they will eventually make it because much like with Brandon's stuff, they wanted it as a tribute to Brandon because the film could have never seen the light of day. It was very much on the table. But Brandon's mother and Brandon's family and Brandon's fiance did not want that to happen because they knew that he had put a lot of his stuff into it. And if you want to come on here with me and video chat with me, you can send me a video invite. We can try to bring y'all on here, and it all goes for all of you, just as long as you follow the rules. But I do think that Russ eventually will come out. What's your order? Nah, I don't care about that. Michael Maxley actually did finally watch it toward the end of his life. And you know what, Amber Lamberth, I don't mean to butcher anybody's names, but you know what? Michael Massey should have never felt bad about anything. He had to live his life knowing that a prop that he was given, that he was told was basically cold. And cold means nothing wrong with it. It was a bad time he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I think that he actually tore himself up over it because he stopped acting for a long time. It wasn't until he started like in the early 2000s when Spider-Man and stuff started coming back out, he started reacting again. And as a fan, I've never placed any harm. Much like, people may say I'm wrong for this, but I don't place any blame on Alec Baldwin. Yes, is he a jerk at times? Yes. Did he know what was going to happen on the film set of Rust? No, of course not. I don't think he knew, but the person who gave him the pew pew should have been, just like this one here, whoever handed the pew pew to Michael Massey, that's who should have been. They should have done something. The one that fired the weapon that killed him, yes. Michael Massey, who played Fun Boy, is the one who actually did that. I rewatched the original with my wife. She cried her eyes out. The original film and the 94 film, it touches on so many situations that if you don't go back and actually look at the why the Crow was originally created in comic book form, not a lot of people know that James O'Barr, who created the Crow, wrote it, and it took almost 10 years for him to write it, and it was in therapy because his girlfriend or fiance at the time was killed by a drunk driver. It was hit and run. So he wrote The Crow out of that, out of trying to express his, grief in that way. And James O'Barr at first, James O'Barr did not like the idea of Brandon Lee as Eric Draven, because he only knew Brandon Lee as a martial arts film person. He only thought, well, it's Bruce Lee's kid. Maybe it's just they're just gonna make it a martial arts thing. And don't forget, I am not forgetting your questions. If you want to come on here and video chat, you can do that too. I will get to all your questions. He was not very ecstatic about it. He said it wasn't until he met Brandon and saw the enthusiasm he had for what he had written that he knew that Brandon was going to bring something to that character. Yellow King, hey man, what's up? What is a comic book adaptation that hasn't happened yet that you feel deserves to happen? You know what? There are quite a few out there, but that hasn't happened yet. I mean, the adaptation I would like to see is the with the Mr. Freeze and his wife, like in the animated series in the early 90s, where you see the actual anguish that Mr. Freeze has in that cartoon, that he's only doing what he's doing to try to help his wife. And I always found it, much like they did with the Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, you can do that type of character. You can do that type of film with Mr. Freeze, seeing how maybe, insurance companies screw him over or something like that, and he loses his wife, or they say he has to pull the plug on her or whatever. There is so much there that, just him wanting to save his wife and the bureaucratic and red tape or stuff like that, that's a message film right there that needs to be done. So if there's a comic book adaptation, I would say, the Frozen Heart and Mr. Freeze and his wife origin story should have been done many years ago. Bama says the actress who plays Shirley in the remake, T.A. Twiggs, had a fear of deep water and a few underwater scenes. That is true. It does look like in a lot of the film. Even when I think the Skull Cowboy comes into the remake, but he doesn't look skeletal. He does something different. I think right. And that's another thing. Another thing, Doobie. He says The Crow Lethal should have been made into a film. I would have liked... I'm actually a fan of James O'Barr's films. That's one of the main reasons why some people think that the remake should have never been made, because James O'Barr has a lot of characters and a lot of stories featuring the Crow that they could have made a true 100% legit sequel to the original Crow, but they decided not to do that because they just couldn't make a sequel work. I don't think the remake is going to work like they think, but Lethal is a good one. There's also a woman Crow they could have done, but that's them. But Amber, I am actually, for what I saw in the deleted scenes, Amber, I didn't see anything wrong with the actual looking of the Skull Cowboy. Yeah, you got to remember, this was like 94, 93, 94. This was long before CGI was in every single film. And for what I saw in the film, what I saw in the deleted scenes of the original Crow, the Skull Cowboy, it looked kind of just like the character in the comic book. So I think, and there are scenes with Brandon that he had filmed with the Skull Cowboy, talking to the Skull Cowboy. So I don't understand why they decided to do that. That to me never made any sense. Because maybe, they could have filled in a lot of the parts of the Crow that is basically... I have to be honest with you guys, the 1994 film is not perfect in any way. There are a lot of like plot holes in the 94 film, which, I get it. They had to go back after Brandon passed. See, a lot of people don't realize that at the beginning of the film, when they come in and they do off with Eric and Shelley's character and Brandon's, a lot of people at the beginning, when they toss Brandon's character out the window, Brandon is not in those scenes. Brandon is not in the beginning of the film. They superimposed his face on the guy falling out of the window, and Brandon is not anywhere near, because Brandon sadly had already passed away at the beginning of the film of The Crow. And when he comes back to the apartment, also he is not in that version of The Crow either, in that part of The Crow either. Okay. Carey says, I will not see it, should leave it alone. I respect all that. I respect that. To me, Eric, Brandon's, the only thing that I can see any good that can come out of the remake is, if it's so different from Brandon's character, people will kind of leave it in its own era. But if it is so bad, if it's badly done, wouldn't it in that era, wouldn't it make Brandon's Crow that much better? It would bring out more. It would make people want to gravitate more to The Crow itself. Hank Schrader says, wasn't the movie released in 94? Did they have the technology to do CGI someone's face onto someone? Hank, at the beginning of the film, like I was saying just now, he is actually not in the film. When he comes into the apartment and they're doing that stuff to Shelley, he is not in the film. He had already passed away. So, and people don't understand, you don't shoot a film from beginning to end. You shoot a little bit of the middle, you shoot a little bit of the end. When they were going in to do the apartment scene where Shelley gets, done off and his character gets done off, he had already passed away. That's why you never see Brandon's face. The only time you see Brandon's face is when it's computerly generated on a stunt double. And when Brandon comes back after he passes away, not Brandon, Eric passes away in the film. After he comes back to the apartment and starts putting on the makeup and face paint, that's not Brandon either. That's a stunt double also. And when he's in the window and you see lightning and you see Brandon's face, that is Brandon's face superimposed on another actor's face. And there's also a couple other places in The Crow where it's not Brandon. Royal Payne says, I'm going to give it a chance. It's a great story. It is a great story. The original Crow is a great story. How do you feel if they put Brandon Lee in another movie but use his face on another actor's body? Well, I just watched Alien Romulus, and they brought back one of the characters that had been passed away. The actor had been passed away for a long, long time, and I did not like that. It looks so fake. Brandon's family, I don't think would like that too much. I think that's where a lot of future Hollywood products are going to go, because that's why AI is going to basically take over everything. It's going to basically be nothing but AI films, Yellow King. And I don't think they have the rights to Brandon's character or Brandon's image. I think that still resides with the Lee family. But Bruce Lee's image and likeness, the Lee family does not own. Bruce Lee's image and likeness is owned by a different person, or is basically owned by a different one. So you can actually see Bruce Lee maybe do a film in the future, or a CGI or AI version of Bruce Lee in the future. Go ahead and get your questions in. As soon as I get them, I will answer them. Jay, I don't feel like it's needed. Not everything needs a remake. Story didn't need to be retold. Well, here's the thing, though. If it's not the same story, that's where I'm kind of drawing a blank at. Because if it's not the same story and they just use this characters' names, because from what I see in the trailers, it really doesn't look like it would be in that same style as the original Crow. That's what leads me to believe if this film bombs or if this film does not do well, it's gonna make Brandon's Crow film find a new audience and have a resurgence of, and that's why I feel Brandon has, the reason why Brandon has not got a Hollywood Walk of Fame star yet, and it's been 30 years after the passing of Brandon Lee. That's a travesty in my view. I think Brandon, just for the iconic portrayal of Eric Draven, Brandon deserves a star on Hollywood Walk of Fame. I done a video about that last week, and that was really crazy. Jay, the trailer looks bad to me. It just doesn't have the same feel and the magic as the original. I believe that you are correct, Jay. I believe that, if it would be the same cookie cutter movie that they did in 1994, I wouldn't even look at it. I wouldn't even deal with it. But we don't have the synopsis of what this Crow is about. We don't even think he's a entertainer, or he doesn't. I mean, this Crow has tattoos all over himself and stuff like that. Nothing like the original. And I am getting to your questions. Just watch. Hollywood will end up remaking The Crow City of Angels. Do we? I don't think so. Because the only really profitable Crow film is the original Crow. Because that's all that ever really made any money. And that's what leads me to believe, if Brandon had not passed away, would the Crow be as popular as it is today? And would Brandon, I think Brandon deserves a lot of the credit that the Crow is what it is today. I mean, he sadly gave his life for his craft, but to me, Hollywood has turned their back on Brandon. That's just my opinion. Yellow King, I think so horrible that strangers or corporations can own your image. That is true. Yes. When it becomes marketable, anything can be sold off, And I think that is sad, Yellow King. They should not have done, Grim says, they should not have done a remake. Not everything needs a remake. I find there's so much in the Crow franchise, especially in the comics, that you didn't necessarily need to do a remake with Eric in it. Or Eric used those characters. You have so much that you can use. Blair Gray says, was there a lot of people saying they won't see it when City of Angels or the sequels came out? Well, the only one that I ever knew that went to the movie theater after the original Crow, Blair, I think was City of Angels. I did go to the movie theater to watch City of Angels, but it just did not have that same feel. I know Salvation did not go to the movie theaters, and all the sequels that came after City of Angels went either directly to DVD or directly to streaming or whatever. And I didn't really watch. I didn't watch Wicked Prayer because it just looked so goofy. Amber Lambert says, I think that in the new one, Eric and Shelley met in rehab. So I think it's a little different. I think the storyline, I think the only thing that is original from the original comic and the original Crow in '94 film is just the characters. I do think that the Skull Cowboy actually shows up in the remake, but I think he's in human form. So Amber, I do think you are correct. So Doobie says 45 minutes of the new one is a love story, literally. Yeah, I mean, I find, if they're going to go and take it a whole different way, that's why I'm kind of intrigued. Some people have said, well, if you're a true Crow fan, you're not going to want to watch the remake. Well, it's not that I don't want to watch the remake. It's that if it's closer to the comic, I'm going to watch it because I'm a fan of the comic. Bama says the body double for Brandon Lee is the director of the John Wick series of films. That is true. And I am getting to all your questions. Just give me a second. Yes, Bama, you are correct. That is the director of John Wick. Why not just make a different one like they've done before instead of a remake? SSJ Dub, I think it's because Hollywood has run out of ideas. It's because this isn't Eric Draven. It's just Eric Draven in name form. In name form. It's not gonna be the same Eric like Brandon was. I don't even think he's a musician. I think he's, like they said, a mechanic or something. Because you got to remember, in the comic, Eric didn't have a last name in the comic book, and he was not a musician. He was inspired by that, but but they had so much stuff. They didn't necessarily have to. Jay says, wasn't aware the story was different. Would love if movie brings in attention to Brandon's original. Jay, I actually think that's what's going to happen. I honestly believe that I don't think the film is going to make a lot of money. I don't think the remake is going to make a lot of money, and there's very few reasons why. One, it's not going to be Deadpool and Wolverine because that's an amazing film, and it doesn't have anything to go against. And there's so many films like Alien, which I did not care for, but it's not going to get the #1 box office. I predict that this film will make in between 15 and 20 million this weekend, and it will be on streaming in less than a month. That's why I believe that I'm just probably going to wait till it comes on streaming because, one, I can't really see going to the movie theater and watching this. Even if it is different, I'll give it a chance. ZRO Art, and keep your questions coming. I am going to answer them. Excuse me. They should have brought in a female lead to take on the Crow character like Iris Shaw from the comics. You are correct. I believe that there was so many possibilities for a true sequel to the original Crow, and the original '94 film, The Crow. They could have brought in the female character, and maybe done something where it's connected some kind of way to the '94 film. That would have been awesome, but they didn't see profit in that. Doobie said, "Did you see the test footage of Jason Momoa as Eric?" I gotta be honest with you, Doobie. I'm glad they did not make that film. Because to me, and I gotta be honest, and it's not to be body shaming or anything like that, because I'm not like that, but Jason Momoa does not fit the Eric Draven part. He's too big. He's too muscular. In the comic and in the '94 film, they are very slender characters, very slender people. And it's not that I don't think Jason couldn't have pulled it off. I just could not see him as Eric. Yellow King says, what is the Crow comic book? Just as popular before the lead movie as it was after. Well, the reason why the Crow became popular before and became a hot topic a hot property before Brandon decided to do the movie Yellow King is because Batman '89 starring Michael Keaton and Tim Burton made comic book movies explode. Now, you can make comic book movies they were looking around and looking for a next underground Batman hit. And they thought, because you got to remember, things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles didn't originate with the cartoons and stuff like that. They were actually comic book characters they brought into different mediums. The Crow was an underground comic book that was a really big hit with a lot of people. It was an extremely big hit with a lot of people. I think when Batman '89 hit so hard, movie studios started looking around for things, and that's where they landed on the Crow. It's not that it was not like the Batman or the Spider-Man or anything of that era. First of all, the studios didn't have to pay buku money to get the intellectual property because nobody really knew. The Crow franchise hadn't even become a franchise yet. And nobody really knew what the Crow was at that time in major mainstream. It wasn't until Brandon and the movie came out that people like me came back and rediscovered the comic. I am getting to your questions, so y'all bear with me. Alright, let's look and see. And don't forget, you can actually come on here in a video. Yeah, I didn't like the Momoa idea, Little Mama and Doobie. I didn't like that. He just didn't fit. It's not because he played Aquaman or anything like that. I like the Aquaman. I just don't think he fit the character of Eric. Little Mama, they found James O'Barr and were like, whoa, yeah, you ain't lying, Little Mama. The Crow Salvation had a terrible face paint. That's right, face burns. And I didn't really care for the City of Angels face paint either, Doobie. I just didn't think it actually fit. Keller Rothy, it's not Eric's story. It is Michael Corby's story for the most part. That's why I kind of that's why I kind of think you're right, because it's just that they took the characters' names and doing something different than the original film. I think you're right on that. Bama, during various points in development, Jason Momoa, Bradley Cooper were cast as Eric. Yes, that's true, because there was a lot of actors that were actually The Crow. This film has been in development for at least 20 years. It's just now that, you know, they stumbled across the right thing and people wanted to do it, or they would get like a director and get an actor and they would cast the actor, but the actor didn't get along with the director and the director would drop out and then the actor would drop out. It was always just in developmental hell. I like City of Angels also. First of all, you'll never beat the 94 film. Even this will not beat the 94 film. It's not going to happen. The 94 film is such a iconic film, is that it is in its own era. It's in its own space that you cannot even touch it. You know, ZR Stan Lee had an idea years ago to use, that's right, to use Brandon Lee Starr as Shang-Chi in a movie. That is actually correct. And also, Brandon was supposed to be the original Neo in the Matrix series, and he was also casted as Johnny Cage in the original live action film of Mortal Kombat. Yellow King, if The Crow would have had a crossover with another franchise, what would you like to see? That's an interesting question, Yellow King. Well, since you're dealing with undead people and Eric Draven's character can't be killed, I would have liked to have seen him cross over with Blade, Wesley Snipes' Blade, because he could have used some of his supernatural powers in a Blade and a Crow mixed together movie. The Crow X the Wreath. I think Brandon Lee would have been a perfect Neo. I think so too. I think that that's the tragic part. One of the tragic part of Brandon's passing is he had so much things in the pipeline that, you know, he was supposed to be Neo. He was supposed to be Johnny Cage. He was supposed to do all these things. He had signed on to do 2 more sequels to The Crow, which a lot of people know. He was planning on reprising his role as Eric Draven in 2 sequels to The Crow. Amber Lambruth said, I didn't mind the Crow Stairway to Heaven TV show. I didn't mind it. It was just, you could tell it was very cheesy, and it wasn't disrespectful or anything like that. Lil Mama says, no one can debate that. Doobie says, I just tried to watch The Crow, Wicked Prayer. Can't believe he puts the paint on with a Sharpie. Right, I know, right? It got to be that they got so desperate with the remakes that the remakes became a parody. They just thought that they could recapture the lightning in a bottle. And there's with the original film in '94. But that's the reason why it's a cult classic, is because Brandon put, sadly, his heart and soul and life into it, that it became so renowned. That's actually, Doobie, that's actually a really good idea. The Crow crossover with Spawn. Crossed over with Spawn. That would be a cool thing. We lost a great actor and could have done so much more. Jimmy, I think the possibilities of what Brandon Lee could have done had he not been tragically lost due to gross negligence is astounding, because that's what that's what's tragic about it. It's not that necessarily he died on the set of this film, it's because he didn't get a chance to live out his life, which is sad. ZR, I always wanted to see an animated take on The Crow. Yeah, like they did with Spawn on HBO. Tell you the truth, Zero Art, yeah. I mean, anything as long as it wasn't in live action. Yeah, I want to bring on, like, don't mind bringing some live folks into this. Yeah, you can come. You can come on live with me and talk about the film and all that other stuff. All you gotta do is send me a video invite, and I'll accept you. With animation, drum, and the James O'Barr has a certain style which is hard to replicate. That would be cool. They need to make The Crow the Bride with Mia Goth as the new Crow. They should have gone a sequel to The Crow. Either, this would have been my scenario. If you want to make a Crow sequel, make a Crow prequel. And people don't understand what I mean by make a prequel. Well, the Skull Cowboy came out of somewhere. There's actually a comic book devoted on how the Skull Cowboy became the Skull Cowboy. Why didn't they just go and say, well, we're going to explore the Skull Cowboy part of The Crow, give him his own movie, make the myth tie into the '94 film, and then do The Bride like Doobie just said. Do The Bride that The Crow did, or would have done. It would have been so freaking amazing. You're speaking into existence, yeah. Yellow King, I think the wrestler Sting got his image out from The Crow. Well, he says no, but I think he's full of crap. Because if you think about it, Crow City of Angels came out in 1996, and Sting actually started doing the Crow, it's actually called the Crow makeup, in 1996, 1997. So he definitely did. He can say what he wants. Even Scott Hall called him out on that. Scott Hall gave Sting the idea to be the Crow. So he can say what he wants. Yeah, it is inspired by the Crow. He's lying. Crow Wild Wild West. Yeah, you could have made the Skull Cowboy the Crow Wild Wild West. A prequel would have been amazing. A Crow prequel starring the Skull Cowboy on how he became the Skull Cowboy and the decisions that he made that made him the Skull Cowboy would have been amazing. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to go this route. Somebody, Easy Crow, not from Skull Cowboy. Okay. But yeah, if y'all want to talk about the video, and go ahead, if y'all haven't, go ahead and video chat. I'm going to do this again tomorrow night, the discussion of the new Crow. I'm going to do it all the way up, all the way to the weekend, you know. Okay, Mandy, I see you, babe. That's cute. More than, and y'all keep giving y'all questions. Y'all keep giving y'all questions out there. Just giving a message real quick. All right, so go ahead, and if you want to come on here with me, y'all can go ahead and just send me the video invite, and y'all can come on here and talk to me about what do you guys think. Amber, that was actually thrown out there for a long, long time. Mark Wahlberg was actually supposed to be Eric. Bring you up. Go ahead and let's see. Okay, let's see if that'll work. Try to get somebody. Little mama.
Hey!
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello! It's so good to talk to you again.
I know. I missed me.
Oh, I miss me too.
How dare you?
Yeah, you know.
That's right. It does come out on the 23rd, this Friday.
I can't wait. So let me just say I'm torn. I'm torn about
I am too.
our favorite. But you know what? I have to give it a chance cuz let's be honest, the sequels okay,
And
but
the
this
TV
one
series.
You know what? I just learned. I swear to God, I don't know how I didn't know there was ever a thing. I don't know the lady that said it earlier. I was like, I didn't know there was a series about it.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't know that. Oh, how horrible a fan am I?
And
Or not?
went, I think it went 2 or 3 seasons.
What?
Oh yeah. He would actually. This is what would happen. He played Eric, and he would only get the face paint put on his face when he was in like a life or death situation. He could only use his powers in a life or death situation.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I learned something new.
It was a good idea. It was just done like in the late 90s, which I find was a little. 30 years later, remaking The Crow seems a little weird, but you know, if it's not, I mean, I like Bill Skarsgård. He does a lot of good acting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
for sure,
I'm willing to give it a chance because it's Bill Skarsgård. If it would have been Jason Momoa, I would have had a lot of issues with it.
Yeah, no, like I said in my comment earlier, I was like, no Momoa. Like you said, his body type is not the same.
Yeah, it just wouldn't. He doesn't fit it.
He's got to be a normal, like I say normal, like a average dude avenging love. Like, I'm not saying muscly dudes can't avenge love, but if you're going to pay a little bit of tribute to the original, yeah, you can't be a Momoa guy. But
right. And then when you're so, and it's not that I like the Aquaman movies. It's just he's so synonymous with Aquaman, it would have taken away from his impact as Eric.
Right, yeah. And Skarsgård is already, like, not, I mean, he's well known, sure, but not enough to be like, oh, that guy.
He's starting to become the remake king.
Yeah, with it. Yeah.
Well, he's redoing it. He redid The Crow. He's gonna do Nosferatu in December.
I didn't know that, so that's good to know.
And he's doing the TV series of Derry right now. That's gonna be on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, James O'Barr did take into effect Iggy Pop as designing when.
Oh, did he really?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
in fact,
Steven did. I didn't know that. Yeah,
he was actually one of the original people he wanted for Eric.
Well, and when you were talking about the people that were supposed to do Brandon Lee's spot, that I didn't know that. I thought I knew everything about the Crow, and I'm
Brandon
like,
wasn't originally casted as Eric.
I knew a couple people, but I didn't know all the things that you were saying earlier. I was just like, oh my gosh, yeah.
And the same thing about, I mean, and when you commented earlier, I remembered who you were. I remembered.
Yeah, it's Mandy. It's Mandy.
That projectile stayed in that barrel for 22 days.
It's tragedy.
All they had to do, like the director of the '94 film had such an issue with the remake. Well, I really don't think you have a right to say anything.
No, not one right. Nope.
But that's my opinion, you know.
I agree. I agree with your opinion.
Because Brandon's death was so, just like the lady on Rust, because that's what it brought a lot of it out of, it brought basically all this back to the forefront, what happened with Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust.
Right.
I don't blame Fun Boy Michael Massey for what happened. He should have never had been put in that position.
Nope.
Now, could Michael Massey have like veered the pew pew a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left? But it should have never happened.
Right.
No.
Nope. It shouldn't. And it's crazy that we lost him and his father. You know, like
20 years
that legacy is so crazy.
20 years apart. Brandon's dad, Bruce, died in 73 and he died in 93.
It's so crazy to me. I think that's why, like, a lot of Crow fans, and I'm not speaking for anybody on this panel in your live, but
you can speak freely.
I'll speak for myself, and I will say that movie obviously moved me for, oh my gosh, 30 years now.
That was actually the first film I was allowed to get out of school to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my birthday was on May 10th, and it came out the day after.
$1993?
And 94.
94, yeah, 94.
Because the film came out almost a year, well, a little over a year after Brandon had passed away. And a lot of people don't realize, I was saying that earlier, Brandon's not in the beginning of the film. People don't realize that.
Well, and they don't, obviously they shoot the movie in pieces. So there's several pieces that he's not in.
Here's a little bit of trivia
right?
for everybody out there. Do you know the exact scene where you first actually see Brandon?
Let's look at the chat, because I don't know this, so I want to see what the chat says.
Let's give it 30 seconds in the chat.
Yeah. We'll give it while we're waiting.
Yes.
Jay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So while we're waiting, I used to think I knew the scene where he passed away, and I had it wrong. And I won't say.
No, go ahead.
In case there's other people. Yeah. No. I'm just saying I won't say, because I want to hear the answer to your question. I want to see what the people.
I don't know. A lot of people say I don't know, but I want to know. Okay, so I'm going to reveal the answer. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
The first time you legitly see Brandon Lee in the set on the film of The Crow, is when he's kicking open the casket and coming out of the casket and crawling out of the casket. Do you remember that scene? Oh, where'd she go?
I never knew that. I thought I knew everything.
Okay, so let's go ahead and test your trivia. Let's see your knowledge.
Oh God.
What is the actual scene? What was the actual scene they were filming when Brandon's incident, I call it an incident, happened?
Yeah. So initially, I'll say, and I don't know about the other fans commenting, but the initial scene I thought where he passed away was when he was out the window. Or no, sorry. No. Sorry. Out. Yeah, I thought it was out the window.
Uh-huh.
And then I don't know which is true, so I'll flip it. I'll say two scenes that I thought. One, the initial one I thought, again, I was 14 when it was made, but out the window when him and Shelly are first getting all that happening, I thought it was out the window. Boom, boom, one on each side of his back. And then I thought it was the table with the whole gang scene and like all that stuff. When they all
fire on him at once.
Yeah, when they all fire away. So now I'm doubting myself. Which one was it?
Okay. The actual footage of The Crow, which a lot of people seem to think is actually in the film, is not. It was actually under the terms that Brandon Lee's mother agreed to. That part of the film had to be destroyed. But it's the part where Eric comes in to find Shelly being tortured and basically raped in the apartment. When he comes into the apartment, they finds him and they throw a knife at him. That's the part. It's when he's coming into the apartment at the very beginning.
So not when they hold his arms up.
No. He had already passed away. In fact, they had to go back and refilm those scenes because they could not use the footage that was actually included in it.
So where did the bullet, like, what scene was it when it really happened? Is it not I'm not saying not in the movie, but I'm like, in real life, where did he actually get the bullet lodged in his back?
Okay, so you mean the actual scene, or where is he actually penetrated by the bullet?
Well, like what scene were they shooting when that actually happened?
At the very
not
beginning,
that it's in the movie, yeah.
Well, they kind of reenacted it. It's when he's coming in and he says Shelly. He opens the door and he finds them doing what they're doing to her.
Right.
So it's
and they throw the knife.
Yeah, right. And
so they throw the knife at him.
After that, you see Fun Boy with a pew pew.
Yeah,
that's the scene in between the scene that they could not use.
So so that's the scene, but that wasn't the scene in the movie. Then, am I understanding you right? So when they hold up his arms and pew pew, that was not the scene where he actually.
That's a stunt double.
Right. So, but the knife is one thing. So was it a knife that did it, or an actual fragment of a bullet that, like, I'm just trying to understand. Sorry.
Okay, so originally, Fun Boy is supposed to, the original death scene of Eric's character, Fun Boy kills him.
Right.
And it's when Eric walks into the apartment. He's supposed to be carrying a grocery bag. And when he walks into the apartment,
sees what's going on.
Yeah, right after Tintin throws the knife after him, him, he falls down.
Right.
That's what happened right there, and Brandon never got up.
So it wasn't a bullet thing. It was a knife thing.
No.
Okay, I'm missing something. I'm sorry. I'm missing something. Sorry.
No, not you. I understand what you're talking about. Let me tell you how it really happened. What the scene happened with Brandon. Okay. The Michael Massey, the guy who played Fun Boy, you know who I'm talking about, the blonde-haired guy.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't supposed to be handling the pew pew. It was supposed to be T-Bird, and at the last minute, the director changed it. So the pew pew that had the tip of the lodge of the little tip from our previous round that was staying in there for 20-something days. What happened was the director wanted a close-up of the actual pew pew, seeing the muzzle blast for like aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Well, what happened was when they put that blank in it with just the gunpowder and the cardboard thing, when that went off, it basically acted like a real bullet and pushed the tip out of the barrel. It was like being shot point blank.
No, I know that part, but what part of that, like, was that not on film at all? Where that happened?
It's not in the film. No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, sorry, I was missing that. I'm like, wait a minute, when did that happen? So it was when he broke in, and instead they did the knife with Tintin or whatever.
Right. Well, if you watch the film, you actually see Michael Massey's Fun Boy actually do pull a trigger, but that was from a previous take. Right.
So when it actually happened, we don't even see that in the movie at all.
No.
Right?
It's never been. A lot of people seem to think that, but when Brandon Lee's mother sued the producers, if she'd have brought them to court, it would have been
Yeah.
the footage of Brandon's passing away would have been public knowledge in the
Right.
public
Yeah.
domain.
See, I didn't.
Anybody could have
Yeah.
seen it. And
See,
his
I didn't know
mother
that.
and his mother did not want that, but under the terms of the agreement,
Well, rightfully so. Nobody
it had
wants to see
it had
that.
to be destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
the original, or the scene when it happened, someone, was it Massey, unfortunately, shoots him, like, or sorry, pews, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
TikTok, pews him,
Mhm.
and we didn't get to see that part because that's what really happened. Instead, what we see is Tintin or, you know, Fun Boy, all the guys doing horrible things, right?
Well,
Yeah. So the part
you do see a little clip, like I said, of a previous scene, a previous tape of Fun Boy with the actual pew.
right,
But
no actual
footage. No.
yeah.
And then you got to feel
So-
for the actors because they were basically
Oh
forced to go
yeah,
back.
yeah. Oh,
I actually met.
it's horrible.
I met Ernie Hudson a few years ago at a Comic-Con.
Oh, love
And
him.
he said that it was a nightmare. He said he didn't want to have to go back, but they were contractually obligated to go back.
So, Jay, let me ask you. So at what point in the shooting do you know, like, of the film, how much more did they have to do
2 weeks.
after that happened?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So after that happened,
In
they had
fact,
2 more
had
weeks of
done-
filming.
They had done all the pew scenes of the film.
Right.
That was the last pew scene that they were filming for the film. Everything else was
Already shot.
wasn't pew related.
Already filmed. Well, sorry. Let me ask. So most of the film was already filmed.
Yep, about 80,
And then
85
that
to
happened.
90%.
Oh, all right. Well, and thank us all, thank God for all that or whatever. So
Well,
what?
if you watch, he's like I said, he's really not in it. He's only not in it at the very beginning. And when he comes
That's
back,
why. That's where I was going. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Go ahead.
And when he comes back to the apartment,
Yeah.
because
So
if you're watching that scene when he's putting the makeup on,
Yeah.
you don't see his face.
Right.
Except
In
you
the
see
mirror,
his, you see his face in the mirror, but that's a computer
Right.
generated scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But there wasn't
anything-
a lot of computer generated stuff though, right? Because they filmed most of it with him, right?
oh yeah, because and you have to figure, this is the early '90s, so CGI was kind of
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that looked great even for the mirror scene.
The mirror
era,
scene,
yeah.
and when he's standing in front of the window and the lightning is going, and that's when you see like glimpses of his face on the actor.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know that the actual, and somebody alluded to it earlier, did you see the John Wick films?
Yes.
The director of the John Wick films was actually Brandon's stunt double.
Oh wow.
So, and there's a lot of things like I've seen a few videos previously of, they took a lot of the outfits that Brandon was wearing and they auctioned them off and stuff like that. And one of them found a piece of bubble gum in his pocket, so he was chewing gum in between scenes. But there had been quite a few complaints filed against the production company because somebody got electrocuted during the production of The Crow. And Brandon complained a lot because he was out in the rain 90% of the time. And this was in, February? Which had to be freezing.
Yeah.
So he endured quite a bit.
Oh, for sure. JT, you know so much more about this movie than I thought I knew everything. And let me just say, and I'm not. Oh,
JT?
God bless you. You,
okay.
JR. Sorry, JR. I say JT, Junior T.
Oh, you're good.
We've talked many times before.
I was so heartbroken because on the morning of On the morning of March 31st in '93, I had actually done we had like social study projects, and I was enamored with Bruce Lee. So I had to go in and set up my project on that morning, and on the going in to set up all my stuff, they was listening to the radio right before we went to school, and that's when they had he hadn't passed away yet, but they had said that he was in critical condition. By the time I had done my report, he had died.
Yeah.
So, and somebody alluded earlier, they thought if they had faked his death, or no, I don't think he faked his death. It would. I mean,
No.
Bruce Lee, they've always said may have faked his death. Bruce Lee did something he wasn't supposed to do, and he was allergic to what he did, and it killed him. But
Yeah.
But the crow I've studied, and that's why a lot of people have kind of asked me the question, why do I want to watch the remake? Isn't it kind of disrespectful? Not really, because you got to remember Brandon was enthusiastic about reading the comics. So if this is more comic related, you got to take it from Brandon Lee's perspective. But
yeah,
none would ever come close to beating. It's its own thing. That's why the sequels could never live up to it.
No, I get the people that say it's disrespectful to him, but also here we are talking about the original. How many years later?
30 years.
Yeah, and he made an imprint on so many people. Like, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it on Thursday or Friday, because there's an earlier show on Thursday, but I can't wait to see it. And to each their own opinion. And as I'm a huge Crow fan, but you seriously, you told me so many things tonight I didn't even know at all. I didn't. Well, I knew everything.
I've had people wanting me to watch it with them so I could point out where he is and where he isn't. There's actually a scene where Sarah comes back into the apartment and she hugs Eric.
Mm-hmm.
If you look off to the left, there's a spot where the whole apartment is filled with debris, but there's a part where there's no debris. It's clean. And it took me a few years to figure out, and somebody acknowledged why that part of that room is clean. Because that's where Brandon fell.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, I've studied this, and I don't feel bad about wanting to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I just don't know if I want to pay the money to go watch it at the theater. I'll watch it on streaming. But
I just want to see it. I'm like, I can't wait. I have to see it. Like, I can't wait. Like, I'd love to sit on my couch and watch, and I probably will, but I just want to go see it. I don't want to go see it alone. Like nobody around.
A lot of people think that, the comic and the 94 film are identical, and they're not. Did we lose her? I dropped some knowledge on people, but then we lost her. There she is.
Did you? No, I'm right here. I promise. I promise. I'm right here.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, in the comic, they weren't killed in an apartment.
And that's why I said earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, which scene was it? And now I know there was no scene in the movie where
just like this happened. One. I mean, this one, it looks like somebody said earlier they're in rehab together or something. No, I think you're thinking about the Joker movie. This one, this one, I'm not really sure. It looks like they're beach bums because there's a lot of film scenes of them sitting around campfires.
Yeah.
But if they had just put Bill Skarsgård in the same outfit with the same makeup with the same long hair, I'd have been like, well, you know what, this is a little weird. But it doesn't. You see the picture right there. There's an actual comic book of the Crow where it's actually the identical face paint.
He looks more like the comic book.
The comic,
for real.
Yeah. And if they incorporate, which I do think
the graphic novel,
the graphic novel, if they incorporate the Skull Cowboy in this film, which I think they do.
Do
It's
they?
just,
You think?
I think they do because if you look at the trailer of Eric being kicked into like something like a pool,
I've seen that scene. And
I think that that's actually the Skull Cowboy in human form.
not off topic, but the guy, there's the, I don't know if it's the bad guy, the villain, whatever, is it, and I'm just gonna ask because I don't know his character in the remake, but he's the guy in 30 Days a Night.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
No God, and I'm like, oh my God, that's that guy, right? Am I wrong? Like that's that actor. I don't know his name.
I think. Oh, he was in Yellowstone too.
Was he? I just remember from 30 Days a Night, and I'm like, oh, that evil bastard with his fucking teeth.
He's been in
a lot of things. Yeah. But that's what I remember him from. He's dark and he's evil, and it fits.
Top dollar.
I think he's top dollar. I don't know.
He's top dollar too because did you see the clip of them in the SUV? It looks like he's trying to protect the woman. Could that be the sister?
Maybe. You know? Maybe.
I mean, people keep saying that it's violent, but the comic book was violent.
Yes, it was. The graphic novel, as they say, back in 1993 or whatever. I still have it. It's tattered and it's worn.
I have it. It's just it's not necessarily in the best conditions.
No, it's not.
It is over 40-something years old. Right?
Yeah. And so I was in high school.
Years old and I'm not in the perfect condition.
Same. I'm 44. I'm 44, mama.
I'm 43.
Oh shit, I'm older than you. But when I was in high school in 1994, what about 94? I decided to do an artwork from the graphic novel, and there is a scene in it that says, "My Valentine has hollow eyes." I don't know if you remember that, but there's a page. Not scene, a page that says that, and I painted that, and it's 4 foot by 3 foot, and it's huge. Nice. I still have it in my house, and everybody's like, "Who is that? What is that?" I'm like, "Well, let me tell you." So anybody, I don't know, there's not a lot of people in the chat, but if anybody in the chat has the graphic novel, if you recognize that phrase, tell me. But yeah, and you go and look JRT. I don't know what JT. I just want to call you JT because I'm lazy.
You're good. You can call me. I just didn't know who you were referring to.
You JR Tabo. And I'm Mandy. You remember that, but
I remember.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. But go check it out. There's one page. My Valentine has hollow eyes, and that's what I did. It's huge, and nobody knew. I was 14 years old. Nobody knew what I was doing. I was like, that's fine. And I still have it to this day. 30 years later.
Let me test your knowledge.
Oh God, I'll probably get it wrong. Go ahead. I'm ready.
In the comic book, does he actually have a last name?
I can't answer. I don't know. I cannot answer that. Anybody in chat know?
You give.
I can't. I give up. I don't know.
The last name Draven was actually made up for the film.
Oh. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
It's called Draven.
Raven. I get it. No, I didn't know that.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I know.
Oh yeah, there is. Yes, there is. It is a cool name though, Yellow King.
Because he's only referred to in the comic as Eric.
Yeah.
That's why I said earlier, if they would have really put their thinking caps on, they could have done a prequel. They could have done a sequel with the woman.
Yeah, they could have. They could, well, don't tempt them. They still could do some trash before. They won't be
Well,
as good,
I
but
seen the article that Bill Scott. I think he thought it was a one and done thing. He didn't think. I don't think he thought he
uh-oh.
was going to come back for a sequel or anything.
Oh God, there's gonna be another one?
Apparently, he's unhappy about it. Just like in the trailers, I don't see Sarah. You don't see no mention of Sarah. You don't see.
Oh, I hope she's in there. She has to be in there.
See, there's just so many things.
But here's the thing, what's so crazy, I know there's only a small amount of people in here,
Yeah,
but I can't believe that
we have
nobody's
the right kind of people.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I was just like, I'm like, has nobody like leaked it? Like seen something? Know something? So
I haven't even seen a synopsis of what the story is. That's why I can't say it's not a carbon copy. I don't think it is a carbon copy.
no, it's not. Oh my God, it's not a carbon copy of the original. No way. No way. No way. And it's gonna be a new spin, obviously a darker spin.
Kara Rossi says it's not Eric's story, so she is not. Well, every comic that I saw alluded. Well, she wasn't called Sarah in the comic, but alluded to the little girl.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It wasn't Sarah they called her in the comic book. But
I'll go pull it out. Well, I think I have it in there to my right, but oh, ZRO Art taking the wife out on a date night this Friday. You are the best husband to take your wife to this movie.
Right.
Yes, you are. And I don't know your opinions on the original. Doesn't matter. Awesome. I will be sitting there with my popcorn, and I will go watch it. And then, JR, we have got to go live after we've seen it. You message me because you got me on Messenger. You let me know when you see it, but don't say nothing, and I will let you know.
Usually if I'll know by the end of the weekend if it is kind of like didn't do very well. It has a bad track record of.
I don't care if it does good or not.
No, what I mean,
I'll see it.
I'll know the streaming date. Streaming date.
But your opinion, it comes out Friday. If you don't go see it, you have got to go see it. And if you don't,
I just went to see Deadpool, and I just went to see Alien.
Oh, how was it? Oh, okay. Sorry, not to distract. And sorry if you hear some background noise.
On these things, free for all topics means they can go anywhere, so you don't have to apologize.
True. Oh no. I'm just apologizing if you hear some background noise. So, what did you think of the Alien? Because we can go all a different direction about Alien Romulus. How was it?
Hated it.
Oh, was it bad? No, no.
I rated it the other night. I actually put a video on here. And
I missed it. Sorry.
I'm supposed to do a video review on it, and I gave it a 1 out of 5 stars.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Care to elaborate?
I mean, I go to a aliens movie to see aliens.
Sure. Yes. Same.
This was not about that.
And it's supposed to be a prequel between Alien and Aliens, was it not?
Well, there's a lot of fans are upset about this. They brought a character back that died in the original film.
In Alien 1?
Yeah, they brought him back as a cybernetic robot. And it's just that the CGI or AI, whatever it is, it looks so fake.
So I saw a timeline. I don't know if it's true, but I saw a timeline, and I sent it to my brother, who is the ultimate Alien movie fan. Mm-hmm. And he told me that's not right. And I was like, well, I found it on the interwebs, so of course it has to be true. Not really. So Romulus is supposed to be between Alien and Aliens.
In between the first one.
Right. The first and the second. Yeah.
It's in between the first one and the James Cameron one.
Yes, yes. So my favorite, obviously, is Aliens, because that was the first one I ever saw. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they brought someone back from the first one to be in Romulus, is it not like? Is it just bullshit that they came back from Alien, the first one?
I think the problem with people are having is because the actual actor passed away like 6-7 years ago.
Oh.
So they used his image and likeness,
Oh.
and not a lot of people like that too much.
Well, I guess I get that. I get that.
Because the guy that I'm talking about, he was in the Lord of the Rings.
Can you just say the actor? Will that ruin it or no?
No, it won't
Don't ruin it. Okay.
It's Ian somebody. I can't remember.
Who do you play in the original Alien?
He was a robot. He's kind of like
Bishop.
cybernetics.
It's not Bishop, because Bishop. Oh, what's his name? Ah, crap. The original evil dude. The evil. God, not evil dude, but
This dude was a jerk.
Yeah, he was. He was a shitbird. Ash. Thank you.
What is it?
Ash. Kelrothy. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce your name. Ash. So they brought Ash back in Romulus.
Okay. Well, Cal Rossi gets a gold star. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you do get a gold star because Ash was a dick in Alien. Yes.
But yeah,
they brought him.
And
Okay.
the thing is, aliens are supposed to be hard to kill, and you got this one chick that can do away with like 8 of them with one solid gun. A pew pew.
What?
And then there's this thing. I don't know if you're gonna watch it, but I don't want to give it away. But
I will watch it. No, I will. No, that's fine. I don't. Well, anybody who doesn't want to know.
They were doing experiments on the aliens. And
we knew they knew about them.
They did projects on them, and they managed to separate a certain enzyme that the aliens had. Well, one of the people that originally went up there was pregnant, and they injected her with the stuff that they took away from the alien.
Oh God!
So the alien actually formed inside the baby.
Okay.
So when it came out, it was part human. The face was human.
What?
And the body was basically alien.
Oh no! Oh, they're trying to appeal to a new audience, I think, which is.
And that's where I think a lot of people are going to get turned off by it. Now, the TV series that I saw in the preview, that looks more interesting than the crap that I saw in Romulus.
Kay. I'm just going to call you Kay because I can't pronounce shit right now. But Prometheus.
That was a prequel.
Yeah. So if they're using his research from that, I'm trying to wrap my brain around some fake alien science, and I can't. It's late. It's like midnight on a Wednesday. Yes. Thank you, Kay. I was just like, wait a minute, but I remembered that Romulus is supposed to be, way after. Yeah, sorry. And my brother, oh my God, my brother is the biggest alien. Oh, he loved Prometheus. I did not.
No,
but
I didn't like
maybe
Prometheus either.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing something.
No.
And I really hope that we both love Romulus just because we're alien fans. I don't know. I hope we do. But and he's 6 years younger than me.
What happened was, and it was funny as hell. My brother, we were watching with my father, and when he saw the human thing come out of the woman, he said that it looked like Joe Biden.
Oh God! What? What'd you say it one more time?
It looked like Joe Biden.
It looked like. Oh God! This is not a political live, just so you know. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, like,
no,
literally, the human form of is weird.
Oh God, that's crazy. But you know who turned me on to Alien to begin with? My
Who's that?
dad. My dad.
Really?
My dad. Yeah. Oh, so I was 8 when I watched Aliens. I thought Aliens was the first one until
Oh, no.
I was like, oh no, I did. Till I don't know how old I was. And I was like, wait, there's another one? And they're like, yeah. I was like, holy shit. And so I think I was like,
Well, Ripley is like one
10?
of the greatest female characters ever.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I didn't know that. I thought Aliens was the first one, and I was so excited when I watched it. I was terrified, of course. Fucking love Hicks. Come on now. Give some love to Hicks, everybody. And Hudson. But I really did. I thought that was the first one, and I was like, "Oh, sorry. We'll go back to The Crow if we want to.
Oh,
Promise." Sorry, we got sidetracked.
No,
they all
know the rules. That it can all go anywhere.
Yeah. No. I'll leave it with this. But seriously, I thought Aliens was the first one, and then I realized there was an alien, and then we walked into a movie store, right, or a pawn shop. I think it was a fucking pawn shop. And Mom was like, oh, look, there's Alien. You've never seen Alien. So I was like, yeah, Ma, let's get that. Guess what? It was on beta. We didn't have a beta player. I was like, oh my God. We bought it. We brought it home. My dad looked at it and she's like, what is this? We don't have a beta player. I was like, oh, good Lord. That is old. Shit. So anyway, I'll leave it. I love Aliens, the whole trilogy. I do. We can get right back to The Crow because, oh, hope we didn't leave. Hope we didn't leave. We want to talk about The Crow. I don't know. Whoever said we're not talking about The Crow.
Oh, it don't matter. It don't matter. Well, they know I have it on my list that free for alls mean they're going anywhere, and I usually, and I'm planning on doing more of these in the week.
Yeah, I just haven't joined. I haven't seen your lives in a minute. I've been on all these political messes, so it's just nice to be on a live where there's really nice people.
Well, that's why I kind of do a lot of this. Is just kind of just get away from all the BS.
Yeah, Slice. What's up, Home Slice?
Lies of life.
Glad you're here, Slice. Welcome.
Yo.
Yeah. Yo.
But yeah, I mean, so you're going to watch it on Friday, you said?
I hope so, yeah. Well, yeah, probably Friday. It'll be Friday while my kid's at school, because I just want to go alone. I want to watch The New Crow and just be by myself. Because the old Crow, that's my thing. I can't, like, I don't want nobody talking during it. Nobody saying shit.
Well, here at the end of May of this year, they actually re-released it in theaters for 2 days, I think.
Yeah. Oh God. I would have went alone to watch it alone. Yeah, I would have.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just some.
She likes dragonflies. She's gonna go see it in IMAX. Oh, I'm jealous. We do have. If I wanted to drive 30 minutes, I could see it in IMAX. But I just want to go alone.
But yeah, I mean, since you're gonna probably watch it before I do, I mean, we might have.
When are you gonna go
this weekend?
Yeah, when are you gonna see it?
Probably when it goes on streaming in a few weeks.
Okay. Well, do you want me to message you when I see it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I will.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
I will. And if Saturday morning comes and I don't message you, call me out.
Okay.
And then you'd be like, "Did you go see it?" I'm like, no." You'd be like, "Yes, I did."
Hounding me.
No, shut up, Stewie. Slice, yes.
Don't start with my story.
You know I love you. Slice is like, it is closer to the comics. Yes, Slice. So, Slice, where do you live? Can I ask? Is that too personal? Where do you live? I have to ask. No, because I have a caring personality.
You're caring.
New Hampshire. New Hampshire.
You care about the
Aw.
peasants.
Well, Slice, I hope that does not happen, and I hope that you find a place to be safe and warm and
Yeah.
damn it. Yes. So yes, back to whoever said it was close to the comic book. Go, JRT, because you know all about how close the current. I won't say remake. I will not say remake. It is not a remake. The new Crow, how
It's more
close
of
it
a
is to the.
re-envisioning.
Yes, there we go. It's close to the comic book. So, go. Tell everybody how it's close.
You
to that.
see, there was this film called The Crow. It was cool. Pretty much.
We're
it.
both huge fans.
Yeah.
You're
One of
welcome,
my
Slice.
dreams, one of my dreams is actually to go to Seattle.
To do what?
Pay my respects to
What?
Brandon in person.
Is that where he is?
Him and his father are buried side by side.
I did not know that.
In
Again,
fact, I actually think I have a picture of the gravesite, but I don't know how to get it on here.
another thing I did not know. Oh my
Yep,
god.
they're buried side by side.
Here I thought I was one of the biggest Crow fans, and I don't know that.
You must bow instead of my awesomeness.
I am bowing to you.
I don't hear your power.
I knew we were friends for a reason.
I know.
And this is it.
Yep.
Are there okay, JRT, are there more comics than just the graphic novel? Or are there actual comics, like series of comics, or is it just one?
What do you mean, of the actual original Crow, or are you talking about
The
stories
JR
afterwards?
Yeah, like so the James O'Barr, that's a graphic novel, right?
Right.
So Slice is asking if like he just needs to pick up some Crow comics. Are there
Well,
actual Crow comics I didn't
yeah.
know about?
Yes. There's Flesh and Blood.
Oh shit!
There's Flesh and
Good
Blood.
job, Slice. Didn't know.
There's Fairway, there's Flesh and Blood. There's Flesh and Blood, I think, is the female one.
Wow, y'all.
And
Got
there's
schooled. School today.
Flesh and Blood is that other, the mechanic.
Dead time. Somebody said dead time.
There you go. Dead Time.
There it is.
And there's another
Z.
one. Because I don't understand where they got the synopsises for these sequels, like Wicked Prayer and stuff like that.
Amber, yeah.
They just Dead Time. There you go.
Flesh
Dead
and Blood
Time.
and Wild Justice.
Flesh and-
Okay,
Flesh and Blood
there we
and
go.
Wild That's right. There you go.
Well,
So
shit.
he's actually.
Thank y'all.
He actually did more because he actually still owns the rights to the comic and the comic
Sure.
characters. He just doesn't own the rights to the movie part of that Crow anymore.
Ooh, I wish Miss Dragonfly. I wish they were offering collector's items. I don't know if anybody goes to theaters on Friday.
I don't think they'll do it for the Crow because it's more like along a more major streamline ones like they do, like for Beetlejuice and stuff like that. I know
Yeah.
they do that for that.
True.
And
True.
that's probably going to be the next movie I see in September. It's going to be Beetlejuice, because I love Michael Keaton.
True. Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
In October, it's going to be Joker 2.
I never even saw the first one. Oh, don't shame me.
The first one's actually pretty good. It's just really he don't pull no punches, you know.
It's dark. I heard it's dark, and I got to be in a good space to watch it. That's why I haven't watched it yet.
Is that he's really not the Joker, and that's what people misunderstand. He's not
Okay.
really the Joker, you know, ha ha ha, fight the Batman type crap.
No, I get that. Yeah, it's darker, right?
He's the Joker of like who inspires the actual Joker.
Okay.
So
It is heavy.
and
See, Amber
Lady
says
Gaga,
it's
and
heavy.
Lady Gaga is going to be Harley in this one, which I'm still on the fence about that one.
Yeah, she can do it. She can pull it off.
I
She
think
won't
so,
do it
too.
wrong. Yeah, she can't. She won't do it wrong.
Yeah, Harley in a meat suit. She sounds pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, with Beetlejuice, I mean, I watch anything with Jenna Ortega in it. She's so damn good.
Who?
Jenna Ortega.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah, the chick who
Wednesday?
plays
Yes.
the chick who plays Wednesday.
Yes. Dragonflies. Yes, we talked about the Crow. Oh, did we talk about the
Stairway
Crow
to
series? What?
Dragonfly, yeah. Any love for the late? Well, Stairway to Heaven. Yeah, we talked about it a little earlier. I mean, Stairway to Heaven is kind of controversial because they did it kind of really close to the original film, and it was kind of like just. I mean, he only gets the face paint when he's in certain situations. He can't do certain things. It's like it just makes you kind of like what this remake here is. It just made you want to watch the original film. And I think that if this film does not do very well, it's gonna make the original pop even more. You know?
No matter what. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No matter what.
Because it's really the good thing about the remake is it's making people go back and rediscover the Crow that may have never seen it before.
Yes. It will draw attention for sure.
But yeah, I mean, that's just how it is, man.
Yep.
Yeah, Mark
Slice.
Dacascos. He was the one who played Eric in the series.
I can't type fast enough. Sorry.
But yeah, I'm gonna hold you to it if
Yeah.
you better let me know what it's like.
Yeah. I will let you know. I will message you as soon as I see it. And I'm like,
You
dude.
better. I'm gonna be like.
I will.
She didn't call. She left me hanging.
Yeah. That won't leave me hanging. I hope I get to see it. Because I don't know why. I could take my kiddo. He's 12. So right now, you know this. He's 12. But I'm like, I just want to. I know, but I want to be there by myself. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see it with me and myself. I'm like, dude, play your fucking VR, play your shit. I just want to go see it for myself.
I gotta have
Just 'cause
some me time.
Because I don't think I ever had him see the original. Not that I wouldn't. Of course I would. Because I've seen it a million fucking times.
You said what, 12 or 11 or 12?
He's 12. He's
That
12.
would have probably been the age. I mean, it came out in '94, and I was born in '81, so around 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, I was 14. I was 14 when it came
yeah.
out. But I just want to enjoy it. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy it, but I want to see it by myself. I just want to go by myself and see it and just full on immersed, you know. So, I don't know if I ever told you this, JRT, but in my room, I have 3 plaques in my room.
I did. I
One.
remember seeing it on live.
Yeah, yeah. Mother is a name for God on the lips and hearts of all children. That is one plaque. Fuck. What's the other one?
Nothing is trivial.
There's other ones. Oh, fuck. I can't remember.
What?
But
Nothing is trivial.
no, I don't. That's not one of them.
Oh.
Hold on. Hold on. I want to look in there real quick. I'm like, God damn it. God damn it. Why can't I
Run,
think of that?
woman, run!
Right. I'm running. I'm running. Shh. He's sleeping.
There we go.
Oh no. Oh,
Oh, it
abash
came in all
the
the
devil
time.
stood. Abash the devil stood and felt how awful goodness is. That's the other one.
Nice.
Yes. That's
Amber
the two.
gets
That's
a
the
gold
two.
star for trying.
Thank you, Amber. I had to go dark. My bedroom was dark. I'm a dark person. Yeah. But yes, it can't rain all the time. So, JRT, the other sleeve, I don't think well, I probably showed you the sleeve. But my other sleeve I have to wait for. My tattoo artist just moved to Dallas, Texas, and I'm in Kansas. Yeah. So I got the full Labyrinth movie sleeve.
I remember that.
And yeah, and now I have to find either someone else or go to Dallas. Because I'm not doing a right arm sleeve. I'm doing a leg sleeve of the Crow. Which, that's way more real estate. Mm-hmm. It's going to cost way more. Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yep. Yep. That's going to be like 15 grand. That's going to be stupid. So, I have to wait till I retire or win the lottery, I guess. Yeah.
Same.
Yep. Yep. I carry it all the time. Amber, now that song is in my head, and I love you for that. My friend showed up earlier, and I think he left. Hold on. Yeah, I think he's gone. Dang it. Sorry. Damn it. Hold on. Now I have to scroll back through to find his name. His real name is Jeremy, but Jeremy, if you're still here, you'll
Jeremy, where are you, Jeremy?
Jeremy.
We are so judging you right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I plan on doing a lot more lives. I just kind of got back into the swing of things.
Yeah. Carbon Copy. That's his name. Carbon Copy. I don't think he's in here because I looked to see, but I don't think he's here anymore. But
Nothing is trivial.
Carbon-
There you go, Zero.
Carbon Copy, if you're still here, you turd,
Yeah, do it.
chime in. Nothing is trivial. You're right.
Just you.
Prince,
Oh, Gilbert,
How
absolutely.
can I accept you when you only have 8 people? You only know 8 people. And you're
Prince.
Roy Jones Jr.
Carbon Copy, if you're here, you should let Carbon Copy in because he's a
Carbon
true
Copy.
fan. But
Oh, you like
I
Carbon
don't think
Copy?
he's in here.
I don't think it's
Can
in
you
there.
see? Can you see if Carbon Copy's here? I can't. I looked to see it. I don't think he's here. He
Yeah.
rescues people from mines. That's his job. Like when somebody is in a mine, he rescues them, which is insane to me. And we've been friends 22 years. It's crazy.
Gilbert says Brandon Lee had the best character
Yeah, he did.
in The Crow. You couldn't be more right than that.
Absolutely.
But I did a
Absolutely.
video last week, and I had to do the results of it. I don't see why Brandon hasn't got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame yet.
Does his dad have one?
He does, but it took him, I think, 1993 is when he got it. That was a good
Damn.
20 years after he died.
Well, maybe he'll get his. He should.
Yeah.
What's so crazy?
She's on the move again.
Can you tell when I leave my phone?
Well, yeah, you get a little bit farther in the echo.
Oh. Sorry. I have earbuds in my ear. How does that happen? I had to go get my power bank. Because I'm dying. I'm dying over here.
You're dying over here.
I'm dying over here. What the fuck? I'm dying. Yeah. So my brother was a crazy fan of Bruce Lee. And when I was watching The Crow, he's like, who's that? I was like, that's Bruce Lee's son. He's like, what? But he doesn't do any action moves. I was like, yeah, well, watch this, you know? And my brother's 6 years younger than me, so he was 8 when he saw The
First
Crow.
exposure to Brandon Lee was Rapid Fire.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, Brandon should get a star.
He should get
He
a
should.
star.
He should get a star.
Potato.
He should get a star.
Or get a star.
Oh, Gilbert, you write poetry. Can Can I put you on the spot, Gilbert, to share some of your poetry in the chat? Is that not fair? That's right not fair. No, I want to see. I don't know. It's not my page,
Yes,
not
Amber.
my life.
Showdown
But...
in Tokyo is very good.
Oh yes! Oh my god, I forgot about that one. Look at you, Amber. God dang,
Amber got
badass.
all the golden star knowledge.
Yes. Hell yeah, girl.
But I discovered Showdown in Little Tokyo after Brandon passed.
You see, I knew about him, but I didn't know about him until in my dark teenage years of angst and bullshit when I found The Crow, and I was like, oh wait, he did other things.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Laser Mission.
what is
I've seen that one.
what is the best song on the soundtrack? Let me ask that of everybody in the chat that knows the Crow soundtrack.
To me,
What's yours?
For me, is when he's running on the rooftop.
And what song is that? That's what I'm saying. What song is your favorite song? Yeah.
It's The Cure, I know for sure.
No wait, is it someone take these
calling
away? Yeah, they keep calling me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Souls. Isn't it called Dead Souls? Wait, is it? I don't know.
Right. Rapid Fire was his major before The Crow that I actually knew of him. Rapid Fire was actually pretty good though.
Yeah. Oh, I have to get a phone stand. Hold on.
Get a phone stand.
I plugged in my phone.
Yep. 9 Inch Nails.
Yes. Dead Souls, right? Can somebody confirm? Dead Souls, 9 Inch Nails. Yeah.
Amber is getting the gold star of the night, you see.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Dude, Amber rocks.
Now the Ozzy Osbourne song they have for the remake is kind of strange to me.
Oh, hold on. Let me say, song when I first heard it at all. I am an Ozzy fan, but I don't like his mainstream shit. Like if I hear Crazy Train, no, I fucking hate it. But him and Posty doing whatever that fucking song's called, and I saw the trailer for The Crow, I was like, okay, it's on. I don't know what it was. It just hit me. God damn it, it hit me. It hit me so hard, and I was just like, oh, I can't wait to see it. Like, and if it wasn't Skarsgård, I don't think I'd see it. I'd be like, whatever. But
I don't know what it is about that whole family is a good actors. It's full of actors.
Yes.
Good actors.
SS JDub 606. I love Road to Nowhere. I'll give you that. Okay, all right. Everybody's coming up with really good Aussie songs. I just can't do Crazy Train. I just can't. Something come on the other day. What was it? Oh shit. So I teach drumstick fitness, and some lady did a drumstick fitness song, and I was like, I can't do Crazy Train. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, somebody took it to STP. Is it on the soundtrack? Oh, hold on. I have the list. Hold on.
I know they just released it. Oh, she's gone. Where has she gone? She's going to look for things. She's going to look for things. Where she be? Where she be? Where she be?
I'm here, but every time I go away from my phone, I can't tell you what I see.
I know.
Yeah, sorry. Can I put it? No, I can't put a picture in the comment.
Yeah, damn. Ghost Star, she's telling us everything about
somebody tell us.
Arcade.
Oh, I love Kelly Osbourne too. So,
yes,
crazy story. Can someone please look up the soundtrack for the new Skarsgård Crow?
Well, they just released that. They just released that. I saw yesterday at the.
I know, I saw it, and I can't go away from you or the sound stops. So crazy
You just
story
can't
though.
go away from me.
I can't leave you, babe. I can't leave
I
you.
know.
So, but crazy story about the Osbournes. So it was Ozfest 2000, and I show up and I see Jack out there with Tommy Lee, and Jack's probably like, I don't know, 16, 17, whatever. And I see him and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, I don't like introduce myself, whatever. We see him and we see Tommy Lee screwing somebody on the top of his tour bus. And I was like, oh, look at that. Oh, there's a sight. Hey, kids, let's all watch Tommy Lee screw someone on his... Yeah, anyway, it was fun.
Well, he
It a
was
good time.
married to Pamela Anderson, so he was used to
Well,
rooftop type things.
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but it was... It burned in my mind. And here's Jack, and I'm like, oh, he's a kid. He's just doing whatever.
Yeah, but he's a kid, but he was Ozzy Osbourne's kid.
True. Yes, Dead Souls, 9 Inch Nails. Yes.
Just got that.
Oh my god. I wish I could. Okay. No, oh my god. Host, I'm going to send this to you.
You see, when she tries to find things, it just doesn't work out well. So for the ones who do not follow me, I will actually be doing another one of these tomorrow.
I just sent it to you. That I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know, but I tell you what, if that's accurate, I'll let you know.
City of
'cause
Angels soundtrack was pretty good too.
I don't remember all the songs on that one.
It was more, they tried to, is another one where they just tried to replicate the first one.
Well, check that out. I think a lot of what I just sent you is not well known. I don't know.
All right,
But nothing
so
will beat the original soundtrack.
You will. So here's a couple of things. You have to watch the movie, and then the weekend we'll discuss it.
Yep.
So I have to
we'll talk about it.
I kind of have to go at the moment, but I'll be back tomorrow.
All right. Thank
See
you
ya.
for having me live.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
I'm very,
And
I'm very, very proud of all the people.
thank you for having me, love. And thank you for everybody in the chat. And I will talk to y'all soon.
All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be picking up right where we left off. Crow remake, what you guys think about tomorrow. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate all of you guys. And if you haven't followed me, we'll pick it up tomorrow. And if you want to come on here, video chat, I'll be here. And make sure y'all come back tomorrow because we can pick it up right when we left it off. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks for everybody who joined in. Junior Tebow out.